Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fall foliage update with Explore Fall. As always, I'm Evan Fisher here to bring you up to speed on what's going on across the country with fall foliage. We also have Peter Forrester, the other half of the Explore Fall team, here as well to share a little bit about some maps that he made earlier this week that, if you didn't see them on social media or on the website, they're incredible. So he's going to tease those here in a few minutes. But just to get started, we're going to show you how fall foliage is progressing across the country, how it's going to be changing over the next 7 days, as well as some reports that we received over the past week since our last update. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump right into our current fall foliage map. As you can see, we have low color all across the northern tier of the country. That is encompassing portions of New England. That's also showing portions of Colorado, the Intermountain West. We have lots of color starting to show up. Many of you have reported seeing color as far south as the Deep South, and that sometimes we're starting to blend a little bit of summer foliage with fall foliage, but we are finally to the point in the year where nights are growing cold enough in the northernmost latitudes that we do have true fall foliage expanding across the country. We've got Preston Jacobson watching from Waynesville, North Carolina. We're actually going to show you some of his photos here in a second. He has unlocked the most incredible fall color spot in western North Carolina. We'll share some of those shots in a moment. But for now, as you can see, the low color in New England, moderate color showing up in portions of Colorado as well. I'll show you a couple pictures from there. And there are just a few microclimates across the country that are always the first to peak. And I think we're going to see the first peak fall foliage sometime in the next 7 days, somewhere in the lower 48. We can speculate as to where in a second. I'll also go ahead and switch us over to our 7-day forecast. Now, remember that the maps you see here are a lower res version of what's available on our website, but this does give you an idea of the fall color in a week's time. Moderate color spreading all throughout New England with some pockets of high color as well. We are expecting an early peak in New England this year, potentially even a widespread peak before October 1st, at least in interior Maine and portions of New Hampshire. So we're watching that color expand quickly. As you can see, peak color at this point throughout portions of Colorado, Wyoming as well. We'll show you some of those photos, and it's incredible what the aspens are already doing this year with a good amount of cool weather they've had recently. Now, I think I've teased all of these images long enough, so I'll go ahead and share some of the reports that we've received over the past couple of days. But we will, if you just give me one moment, I'll scroll back to the beginning. Here we are. Transition over. Still learning to press the buttons, but I think we're getting better at these live streams, at least I hope. So this is the first one I wanted to show you. This is from Roddy, who has been sending us several photos from Colorado in the past week. Unbelievable early aspen color in a few places. You can even see here, it almost looks like peak color localized outside of Fairplay, Colorado. So we're seeing some of those microclimates act up. Similarly, he sent some other photos in the day prior, and you can see those aspen colors as well as some oranges. Peter, do you know what that color, what that tree might be? Oh, really? Fascinating. Peter and I had this really cool conversation the other day. Hey, Billy, Dean, thanks you guys for being here in the chat. Appreciate everyone commenting. But Billy, well, Billy was part of this conversation too. But Billy, Peter, and I were having a great convo the other day about how different stands of aspen can have different colors and change at different times because they are an enormous organism, and there may be 100 different trees that are all technically one organism. It's really cool. We'll touch on it some later time. You're not here to hear all about that right now. Moving forward, we're going to keep it in Colorado with Thomas, another great fella that contributes to Explorer Fall, some moderate, maybe even low color, I should say, color appearing in Vail, Colorado. This was almost a week ago now, but still wanted to share that. Also out west, Utah, we're beginning to see the first signs of high color and some localized spots of the big-tooth maples out there. They're really gorgeous. They peak really early. Overall, the Wasatch Range outside of Salt Lake City is still low color, but you do have a few of these secret spots that our good friends at the Foliage Report, their friends, managed to sniff out in the past couple of days. Bringing it back east a little bit, this is from Charles Peak, the Weather Channel. Charles managed to sniff out some great color, believe it or not, in Oklahoma. This is a great example of debatable summer color, summer foliage, or fall foliage. In all likelihood, this color was forced by summer stress, including extreme heat, dry soil as well. But this is a sign that we are seeing early color all across the country. Now, in this particular case, I don't think this will necessarily translate to an early peak in Oklahoma, but it is still cool to see those first colors showing up. Finally, on the East Coast, we're looking at West Virginia. This is a tweet we got earlier today. Peter and I were just floored to see how much fall foliage is already going off in West Virginia. This is some pockets of moderate color outside of Davis, I believe, in West Virginia. This is some of the colder spots. Canaan Valley's up there, Delhi Sods. There's even some color up towards Snowshoe right now. I suppose that's down south of Delhi Sods, but down towards Snowshoe. So West Virginia is creeping up on us, and with all the drought they've had this year, we do expect an early peak at this point. I think it'll be bright, we think it'll be fast, and we could even see some peak colors showing up before October 1st in this area. Up to the northeast, New England, we've seen a lot of color reports coming out of the White Mountains. Believe it or not, there's high to moderate color already showing up above tree line. And central PA, see Josh in the chat as well. We have some low color showing up in PA as well. So all throughout the Northeast, these cool temperatures, we've had this long string of cool nights and warm afternoons. It's the secret sauce for fall foliage, and we're already seeing that color begin to emerge. Similarly, nearby in Stowe, you see some of these fresh fall colors from our friend Jeremy. It's great to see the crunchy leaves on the ground. I'm so excited to walk through crunchy leaves this season. Finally, bringing it back home for me, at least, Western North Carolina, we have some sneaky colors showing up. This is from our friend Preston, who was in the chat a minute ago. This is his entity, Parkway Colors, and he runs an incredible venture through Parkway Colors, where he reports fall foliage along the Blue Ridge Parkway in southwestern North Carolina. Please go give him a follow. You don't want to miss his reports if you're visiting the Blue Ridge Parkway this year. This was some early color from about a week ago, but we'll show you another one of his shots in a second, because this is Billy from yesterday. Now, Billy and I were out chasing fall foliage yesterday afternoon. He split off afterwards after I had to head back home and found some gorgeous color in the balsams of Western North Carolina. But little did we know that the clouds were masking the full extent of the fall foliage display up there. It's only mid-September, yet Preston with Parkway Colors was able to locate moderate to high color already up there, which is honestly insane for North Carolina. I've never seen fall foliage this early in this part of the country, and it will be a great case study moving forward and understanding what exactly is going on with this early fall foliage. Now, I believe that wraps up all of the tweets, but I want to go ahead and share some of the maps that Peter made this past week and let him share a little bit about the blog post that he put together and his just incredible skills in making the coolest maps I think I've ever seen. Here we go, Peter. I'm bringing him on right now, so you can go ahead and share a little bit about him.
Trees that grow in all over the country at a very, very detailed look. So we can tell if a forest is made up of aspens or evergreens like spruce and pine, or if maybe there's more of a maple dominated kind of forest. So I did research. Took actually a couple of months to get all this together, and research each of the individual tree types to say, hey, which colors do they turn in the fall? What's the predominant color that these trees turn in the fall? And simply colored the map to show how those distribute spatially. So I think the results were really cool. I was really excited about it. Put together a big thread on Twitter or X. And we published a blog post on explorefall.com that has a lot more information. We were able to go region by region and talk about some of the unique forest makeups that are in these areas, and some of our favorite spots around the country where you can actually go see these colors when they reach peak color. I've been scrolling through some of the maps right now. You can see the Mid-Atlantic right here. We were just talking about West Virginia, some of the early colors that are going up there, and those will be a really rich, vibrant red and a dark orange when they turn in the fall. because those are maple dominated forests and something called the northern hardwood forests that are very similar to Canadian ecosystems. So it's a really cool little patch of red color, and the rest of the Mid Atlantic is full of a lot of oaks and hemlocks and trees that tend to turn dull orange or maybe just a little bit of a brown tint. So not quite as vibrant, but still really cool to see a whole landscape change that color. So again, lots more detail on our blog website, and just a really fun project to get together. And I'm excited to go explore some of these colors myself with my photography gear, and obviously seeing all of your reports come in this season.
Thank you so much, Peter. It's amazing. Please go check out his blog post on the explorefall.com. You'll find it linked there on the website. There's many more maps, especially for the regions out west that we didn't show, and you can get into some incredible high resolution detail out there. So go check it out. Go read all the science behind it. Peter's put together a fantastic blog, and it deserves some more attention. But thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I think this was one of our best streams yet. We've only had 3, so I suppose that's a low bar, but it is really fun to have so much engagement in the chat. Pam, thank you so much. Dean, thank you for the tip. Sorry, Peter, the first 10 seconds of your audio was cut out. I forgot to turn the audio on. Charles, thank you so much. I think it's crazy. Yeah, I showed, I'm not sure if you saw that a minute ago, but we showed your photos from Oklahoma, and it's unbelievable how that stress is leading to this early color out there. Goodness, so many chats. This is really cool, and this is what we wanted these Monday evenings to be. A great chance to interact with you all, hear about what you're seeing across the country, share a little bit about what we've seen over the last week or so, and set the stage for the next 7 days. So we'll provide another update on Twitter, but we won't do another live stream until next Monday. So if you don't already subscribe to us, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more of these updates. And we'll see you all on Twitter, on the website, on Facebook, on Instagram throughout the week. Thanks, and have a great week.